All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live on tonight's Tuesday edition of Eric Johnston Live. And yes, I can tell you right away, I'm already wearing my favorite shirt. It's a new shirt. You know when you buy a new shirt and you're like, I don't know if this is going to go. I don't know if people are going to like it. And when I brought it home, my mom was like, that's a very nice shirt. And I put it on, and you know what? It just fits good. It just fits it just fits good. You can do a lot of this action. I'm gonna crack my first beer. I only bring two up here now, so I only have two throughout the show. I find myself sipping too often while people are talking. But this is Eric Johnston Live. Tonight's episode is super fun. I don't know if people can hear me. If someone says, "Oops, something went wrong," something went wrong. I don't know. Can you hear me? You can hear me. I think you can hear me. You better be able to hear me. Um, um, this tonight episode. See, I got thrown off. I was doing such a good intro, and then someone said something's wrong, and I panicked. You better be able to hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. Um, huge panic. Huge panic. Okay, here we go. Let's start that again. I was interrupted. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Corona. It's not actually sponsored, and they'll never sponsor, especially because I'm probably going out of business. But part of the reason why I'm wearing this shirt, it's a party shirt, but it's also a travel shirt. It's cruise wear. This is in Frank Costanza. May Jerry Stiller rest in peace this week. He wore a lot of cruise wear on the show, and I feel like this is cruise wear, and it has to do with travel. Tonight's episode, Eric Johnston Live, is about travel. Everything to do with travel, everything about travel, crazy travel stories. We have an amazing special guest co-host, Danny Martinello, who's been on the show before. Everyone loved him and said, when is Danny going to come back? So right away, I had Danny come back. Shout out to Nathan. What's up, dude? Nathan was on the show the other night by chance, and he was a hilarious addition to the show. Nathan is the employee of the year of a Stag Shop. If you guys know what Stag Shop is, it's a sex shop, and he's an employee of the year. So that guy has crazy stories. My friend Trix, if you want to join the stream, send me a message. I'd love to hear some of your travel stories, dude. You have traveled literally the entire world, which brings me to my first point. If you guys want to join this stream, now we have a lot of people lined up to join the stream tonight. People are chomping at the bit. See, now we're not talking about ex-boyfriends and stuff. People are more willing to talk shit about travel. I'm going to put the StreamYard stream in the comments below. I just posted it there. If you guys want to join the stream this evening on Eric Johnston Live and tell us a crazy travel story, you are welcome. The StreamYard there is there. Some people are having a problem clicking on it. If you copy and paste it and put it into your web browser or open it on your Safari or Chrome on your phone, you're able to access, you're able to be part of the show. Now, I have a very quick kind of cool announcement to make. I teased it at the start of the show in the banner ads before the show started, and I also just made a post about it on Facebook and Instagram. I have decided, I'm about to cover my own face here, but it's worth it. I have launched, I'll tuck my arms in so you don't see my shoulders here. I have launched a brand new thing happening this summer 2020, for either late June. I just booked June 27th. I think that'll be the official start of the tour. It's called the Campfire Comedy Tour. Now, I mentioned on Facebook and on Instagram before, there's a lot of, as restrictions are starting to ease, people are having kind of social distancing backyard parties, which is amazing. Chuck is saying no sound. Have I been talking this entire time with no sound? Please, someone other than Chuck, respond. I need to turn it on Facebook. Yeah, I have sound. Chuck, you're killing me here. You're killing me. You had the problem, not me. I almost panicked again. So, I'll start that pitch over again. The Campfire Comedy Tour is happening this summer. What I'm going to do is, a lot of people are having backyard parties for social gatherings of 6 feet, or however we're going to be allowed, we're going to be able to do that. I'm noticing people have some backyard parties, some fire parties. Now, I know there's a fire band, and it's called the Campfire Comedy Tour. I just needed a name that sounded good, so a lot of C's in a row. It not necessarily means you have to have a fire. If there is a fire ban in your city or in your area. I know different parts of the city, the fire ban is lifted. Regardless, fuck the fire. What I'm talking about is if you're having a backyard party and you want to hire some entertainment. Now, I say hire loosely. Yes, you'll hire and you'll pay me, but I'm going to take what I would usually charge for a private gig, a private function, and I'm going to cut that down by a third or one-third. You're going to pay me one-third of what I would usually charge to do a private function. Because here's the thing. I know that people are broke right now, as am I, as is most of the country. So it's not going to be a huge money thing, but I do have to get paid because I have to pay my opening act, I have to pay for travel, I'm probably going to have to rent some lights, I have proper sound. But what I'm going to do is the Campfire comedy tour. And if you can't light a fire, fuck the fire. Just let's have a party. I'll be in your backyard. I don't know what the sizes of people that we're allowed to have in backyards is yet. Under 5, over 10, under 15, under 20. I don't know what it is. Especially I won't know what it will be, as no one does right now. But I won't know what it will be in July and August. So I've officially launched the Eric Johnston Campfire Comedy Tour. I will show it to you one more time. It's also on my Instagram and Facebook, the whole rundown of everything that is happening with the Eric Johnston Campfire Comedy Tour in the summer of 2020. I will show up, I'll perform for an hour, I'll do my whole hour show. I'll probably have to make some changes to some of my jokes because they aren't relevant anymore because the end of the world almost happened. But I will do a full hour of my regular hour that I tour with. Also, I can do it two ways. I could do it 18 plus, or I could do it. Clean. I'm clean anyways. When I say 18 plus, I just say fucking stuff. But if there's kids around, I just do my same hour. I just don't say fucking stuff. You know what I mean? So that's the idea. That's what we're doing. We have some amazing guests coming on the show this evening. I am waiting for Danny Martinello. I said, you've got like 5-10 minutes. I do a thing off the top of the show. I'm going to message Danny right now and tell him that we are ready for him on the show. And we're ready to get started. So tonight's episode is all about travel. Now, I put a thing up on my Facebook today, travel, does anyone have any crazy travel stories? And people are messaging me like crazy shit. I won't tell you who they are because of the Privacy Act, but I will tell you that someone has said that they were, someone fake cried to attend a funeral to get a flight moved, but actually they're just trying to get on the plane for a concert. That's a good one. Kind of a good story. Kind of more mean than anything. Went to Mexico, was offered huge rocks of cocaine at every bar I went to. Now, that's very popular in Mexico, I hear. You become drug mules. They often ask young, beautiful girls, unsuspecting women, to be like, can you just put this rock of cocaine in your bag and no one's going to know about it, but if you don't do it, we'll kill you. That's very popular. I was on the last flight out of Mexico. A lot of these stories are in Mexico, I feel. A lot of the stories, I was on before a hurricane hit and the entire resort was flooded. Almost murdered by a girl I'm sure was a witch/vampire that he was making out with in Iceland. Now, that story is going to be told on the show tonight. That's my very good friend, Joseph Taormina from Portland, Oregon. We met in Vancouver. He's going to come on the show and tell that story on the show. A guy tried to mug me in Venice. I clocked him in the face and I sent his glasses flying. A lot of these are drug stories. Someone wrote anal on the beach of Veradero, Cuba. Okay, I'm more of a clean comic. I won't get into that. Dragged and almost kidnapped in Cabo San Lucas. Had to assault the kidnapper and steal his car to get out of there. That is another one sounds interesting. People are going to come on the show and tell these stories, by the way. I got politely robbed in a McDonald's washroom in Venice by a mafia thug. That's my friend Jay Brody, the new host of the mornings on Edge 102.1 The Edge. Also, I've come up with a drinking game for this show as we wait for Danny to come on. I've been doing this show. This is my 6th episode, I believe, 6th or 7th episode of Eric Johnston Live. Also, there was a couple episodes that haven't seen it as well. I do this a lot. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I do this a lot, and I want to explain this. I do this a lot. I wear contact lenses, and I have astigmatism, and every time I laugh on the show, every time I laugh, you see me laugh, and I'm a laugher. I like to laugh. Every time you see me laugh, my contacts move around and I go fucking blind. So I have to like just quickly readjust them. So this is I do it so often that I don't even realize that I'm doing it anymore. And I realized I was watching some playback on the show. I was editing some clips together, and like literally every 30 seconds, I'm readjusting my goddamn eyeballs. So that's the drinking game tonight. If you see me readjust my eyeballs, you have to take a drink. Needless to say, you're all gonna die. Tonight's episode, again, is all about travel. Our special guest has actually officially made it onto the lobby of the show. He's just taking a seat. He's getting a water. He's ready to go. He's got a professional mic set up and a nice background that's sure set up by his girlfriend. We're going to bring him on the show right now. He's one of my very good friends. He's been on the show before. He's back for you guys tonight. Please welcome to the show, Danny Martinello, everybody.
Hey.
Danny.
Can you
Whoa,
hear me?
professional mic and everything.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. Final destination equals domestication.
That's amazing. You can turn up your mic a little bit, though. You're a little soft.
Well, you just can't see under the table, Eric.
I know, you know what I meant. A little light. You're a little light, a little soft. Danny Martinello, if you guys don't know the show, has been on the show before. A hilarious comic from Edmonton, Alberta, now lives in Toronto, Ontario, I believe. You're in Toronto now, right?
Sure am.
Okay, he's in Toronto with his lovely girlfriend, who's a flight attendant? Girlfriend's a flight
Sure
attendant.
is. Well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore. Yeah, but you know what? Which makes you perfect for this show because your girlfriend, your lovely girlfriend, is a flight attendant. She travels all over. You get to go with her, and you're also a professional touring stand-up comics. You go a lot of places on your own. You've been all over, Danny, and I know I know the type of person that you are. You're the type of guy that makes friends everywhere you go. So I knew that you would have.
They don't even need to know English, man. I'll be friends with them. I was in Poland once, and this guy didn't even. All we did was look at old cannonballs in a fortress, like cannonballs and cannons, and we just kept saying cannons, and then we were like pretty much friends the whole day.
Did you guys drink?
Oh yeah, well yeah, because we went down there to see my girlfriend's grandma for her 90th birthday. I didn't even know this guy. It was funny. They all thought I was going to be able to speak Polish or Russian. I barely even know how to speak English, and they're in for a whirlwind.
You walk in, they're like "Dzień dobry,"
yeah,
and you're like,
oh dude,
hello.
It was so funny because like there was like this old guy, right? He was probably like I don't know, man, mid 80s for sure. He had to have been, and like her whole family's all women, right? So there was like only like two dudes that were there, and he was so stoked. I could tell this guy that he's like, oh, another man, and he went to come and talk to me, and then he was like, oh, Russian. I'm like, no. He's like, Polish. He's like, no. And I looked at him. I'm like, English. He's like, no. And then he said something, right? And then he like kind of and then walked away, but it was enough for me to be like, what this guy say, right? And I looked over to another guy that was Polish, and he said it was such a pity, and then just walked away. And I'm like I loved it, dude. I was like, yeah, it is, you know. And the whole time this guy's eating his soup, like staring at me across the table, wanting to have conversation, and he couldn't.
I have a couple friends like that. Two of my best friends are twin brothers, and they are like hardcore Bosnian, like they are from Bosnia. Like just they were born, they were
sweatsuits.
Yeah, exactly. They squat and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
So they're like
they're always hunting superheroes too. They fucking this super want to come here.
The super come and tell us to leave, so we leave. We come to Canada.
We start business. What, do you like this Astro van? I sell it to you. What do you want? It's cheap. You can open cleaning company with it.
Put it in H.
Yeah. What do you want? I have a cousin in HVAC. He help you. What do you need?
He does siding on the sides.
he does stuff. What do you need? I say he do.
This whole show is just you and I doing a Bosnian accent to each other.
Not even Bosnian. A couple Chechens are like,
we just play a lot of Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah. Let's go, eh? Granada.
I was just gonna say you and I are just like Granada.
Yeah, throwing it.
Guys, I just started laughing. I explained on the show my contacts are on the move, so I couldn't see, so I just touched my eyes.
Why are you against the lens, bro?
I wear the glasses for the first hour that I wake up, and I wear the last hour before I go to sleep. That's my glasses time.
Oh,
or if I have
okay.
a super long drive. Other than
Why is that?
it's all about appearance, bro. I need to keep,
You need to
what if
keep
a Hollywood director
keep
knocks
that
on my
fucking puss shining, baby? It's Yiddish for face, just in case people thought it was. Yeah.
Puss. I think that's Bosnian.
Yeah. But he's not talking about your face.
But anyways, these two Bosnian guys, friends of mine, best friends of mine, I used to go to all their family parties. Now, their entire family moved here in the early 90s. Like that was when Yugoslavia
That's their claim
was
to fame.
Yeah,
we got help in the 90s.
my whole neighborhood is Serbs and Croatians. In 1990, they moved here.
They just wanted to get away from communism, but they went to a hammer town because they still wanted to be close to the stickle.
We have work and pain. So
I heard if you walk street with no teeth, they say it's regular.
they'll give you a job.
And then some lady at Tim Hortons throws shit at you.
That's the mayor, actually. But
yeah, he goes, "Welcome to Hammertown."
So I used to go to all their parties, their family parties, and all their family members, there's like 40 of them, they all came over in the early 90s. They only talk to each other, they only go to the Croatian Bosnian stores. They don't know, they've lived here for 30 years, they still don't know English, and they don't care to learn. So it was always like I would just sit there as like the white Canadian kid, just like eating like kielbasa and drinking Slivovitski.
You're just seeing how much horseradish you can put on your cracker without tearing up.
I'm just trying to fit in.
Yeah, their version of like the wasabi. They're like, how much horseradish you want on?
You want pickle?
I want to feel my soul. Can I feel my soul? Do you have enough just so I can let me feel the pain and hurt that you guys escaped from?
I mean, I don't think I talk like that, but yeah. My point is the whole story. The lead up to the end of this story is funnier, anyways. But I just used to go there and they would tell jokes, like they would be like, you would just hear some guys like,
It just sounds like a guy in reverse.
Yeah.
Audio's on reverse.
They would just be like,
yeah, it's always broken English.
Yeah,
I understood ginger ale. Yeah.
There's like Fortinos.
Yeah, the whole time he's just talking about actually killing you, but then he just does ginger ale.
I'm like, yeah, you want some ginger ale?
Yeah.
But it was always funny. This one time, I'll never forget it. The guy goes, there's a group of them. We're all eating soup or something, borscht or something crazy, and they're all like, the guy goes like, and everyone goes, and I turned to my buddy and I'm like, what did he say? And he's like, he said that his wife can't see him drunk, but he can only look at his wife when he's drunk.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like I guess it's like a riddle Bosnian joke. But then I heard it, and then I was like, ah! So like a whole 30 seconds later, just the fucking fat white kid in the corner eating fucking chivapi.
Yeah. From that moment on, I knew I wanted to be a comedian.
I got a laugh, and that's
your
where it
origin
happened.
Story is in the back of some Polish deli, and you're like, yeah.
I got one laugh
back by the kubasa.
I'm going to remind everyone, Danny Martinello, you can follow him on Instagram at Danny Martinello. I believe I spelt that right. Also, guys, as I remind everyone when you're watching this show, if you can see us right now, please share this stream. It means the absolute world to us if you share this. When you share it, it opens it up to all of your friends and family, and they can see. I've already seen some people are sharing it, but if you could see us right now, please share this stream. I'll even share it one time. I'm crazy like that. So share it. It brings, every time you share it, the stream goes up 30 viewers. We've already have 5 shares. I appreciate everyone who's already shared it.
And a person pulls a pistol away from a cat's head. So,
Yes, and Danny
yeah.
won't kill anybody.
No, yeah, right, man. This stuff makes me want to kill people. I just want to go back playing the Divinity Sins, bro. I'm LARPing hard.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to pull you away from that.
No, it's okay. I'm just chilling. It's nice. I actually needed to see if I can set this all. It's good, buddy. You're helping me with my homework,
dude,
Eric.
look at you. I said, come on the show, and you're like, I can get a mic set up, and I'm like, look at
Yeah, I
you.
got a mic set up. I even got fucking studio lights. It's good, man. I got a full gear set
You
up
look
here.
great, dude. So, okay, I know you tour a lot as a comedian. I know you've been to Australia a couple times. Anything off the top
No,
of your
just
head?
once. Just
Oh,
one. I was
okay,
gonna
but you're
go.
going back. You're going back
Well,
eventually.
go back March 20th, and then COVID happened.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
I can imagine you having some pretty crazy times down under.
Oh yeah, man. They were super fun, actually. Yeah, there's some scary stories too, all that jazz, man. I don't know. I've gone everywhere though, dude. But I used to also I was paid for 3 years to go chaperone grad trips and spring break trips, and
I didn't know that about you.
oh yeah, dude. I worked for S Trip, man, and then it was heydays, bro. I was a party boy,
dude,
paid party boy, man.
That
5
makes
star,
so much
all-inclusive.
sense now. That's why you have a 6-pack.
Oh yeah, no, but it was that's just pure athletics from
Yeah,
the
I know.
beginning of age. Yeah. And I got the vodka sodas, not those Coronas, bro. You're putting on the carbs.
Yo, it's made of corn. It's not made of wheat. I'll be all right. It's gluten free, bro. I read that on the internet.
Yeah, I'm a celiac hepatified person, not on gluten. No, yeah, so I did all that, but Australia was wicked, man. I guess I got one travel story. I'll keep the comics name out of it. This guy's a legend, though, huge in Australia right now. But yeah, no, we were it was for the whole festival, right? I was staying at my buddy's place, Joe White. I don't know if you met him, a good guy, funny guy.
I know the name. I don't know if I've ever met him, though.
Yeah, I met him out in Montreal, and then I was just he was coming to Toronto, and we broed out at a couple of gigs, and then he's like, oh yeah, my next stop's Toronto, and I'm like, okay, Western hospitality, right? So I'm like, buddy, come into my car, you'll stay in my place until we get you sorted out, right? And he's like, oh, he never believed it, right? And then he called me on it. I'm like, oh, okay, and he's like, he'll return the favor when I come to Australia. So I took him up on the offer, so I'm staying with him and all that. And then the last week or so, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll get an Airbnb. It was nice. I'll get all this guy's family's hair and stuff. I have my own spot. I can scratch my nuts, walk around the house naked, do whatever. But then we met another guy. So we split the Airbnb, and then one night we were partying at the festival club, and then and this was in not Kitsilano, that's Vancouver, St. Kilda, that's it, right? So it's this beach part off of Melbourne, right? And you got to take the tram to get there, but the tram closes, so we're like, oh fuck it, whatever, we're just gonna party at festival club. And then our one buddy that we were partying with a whole bunch, I guess I don't know, I think he took some drugs or whatever, or somebody spiked his drink, we still don't know, but we think this guy was just wild himself, had a bad tab of acid and shit, right? So we're like, okay, whatever, man, we're not gonna spend money, we'll just go back to the flat and just chill and party and shit. And he's like, okay, sick, yeah. So then we're like, all right, coming through. And then we go to bed, right? All this, we tuck him in, make sure he's good, we put his glass of water, we're like, all right, man, I'm just in the room if you need, anything, just chill out. And he's like, okay, yeah, sweet. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I wake up later, I go to bed, wake up, say maybe, I don't know, it's in the middle of the night, I hear rummaging around the Airbnb. Okay. And I'm like, oh, this fucking piece of shit's jacking us, right? He's doing some fucking shit. Yeah. And then I come outside and I open the door, and then I see a napkin, a paper towel napkin with writing out front of my door. And I'm like, what? And then I look at it and it's just gibberish. And I'm like, oh no. And then I look over to the left through the hallway, and then I see cutting boards and all this weird cutlery and shit on the floor. And I'm like, oh no, this guy ransacked it or something. But then I hear fidgeting still around. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I got to go see. And then I walk into the living room. All of our furniture is turned upside down. Everything's rearranged. A cutting board's kind of taped to the wall with writing and permanent marker. So he's fucked up 2 cutting boards already. And then I see him, dude, and he's in the middle of our living room with this samurai sword, because they had a samurai sword in the house. And so he took it off the mantle, and he's got this samurai sword just chilling with him, and he's waving it around. And I'm like, okay, he's up on acid. Whole place looks like Emily Rose just had a gang bang in here. I'm like, what the fuck's going on now? This guy's Kill Bill in the middle of the living room with a samurai sword, right? And I'm just like, oh, hey man, I don't mean to disturb you or anything. You obviously look like you're going through some stuff right now. He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, hey, dude, just want to maybe you know, drop the sword, dude. he's like, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, this totally looks bad. I'm like, yeah, man, this whole place is fucked up and you're holding that samurai sword, bro.
We're all upside down right now, and you have a samurai sword.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And like me, right? Like instantly I want to be like, what the fuck's wrong with this kid? I just met him like a week and a half ago. We broke down. I'm like, I gotta slap this kid out, but he has a samurai sword. This isn't our Airbnb. It's on my buddy's credit card who's sleeping in the next room, who doesn't know this shit's going on. So then I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. I just want to let you know, like, I'm not like, we gotta owe Carter this. Like, this is on his visa, not on mine, not on yours. If it was on mine, I'd be like, all right, whatever, I'll deal with this.
You're like, I used to work for S-Trip. I actually got quite a bit of money stocked away.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, man, like, just put the sword down. I'll take that. I'll bring it to the room. And then I go through the kitchen, take the huge cutting knives. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to hold on to this like silverware and cutlery just in my room. But like, I don't know, like, I'm going to go back to bed, dude. Obviously you're having a bad trip, but if this shit's not finished, then put back to normal by the time I wake up, we might have an issue. And
you're like,
yeah.
I need to convince you that this trip becomes an organizational thing.
And it was fucked up too, because I looked, bro, and he took the coffee table that's like as big as a normal table, because it was like a ball in place, because we were like, oh, whatever, it's our last week. We saved up our money. I got Australian money to blow. Like, who gives a fuck? And then so it's a nice place, and he takes like this solid wooden oak fucking coffee table, and he like barred the window, like the balcony door, so it looked like someone, if zombies were attacking, they'd put like shit up against. So I'm like, I'm tripping out a little bit, but I'm just like, whatever, you know, like I don't know, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'm pretending like I'm an adult, you know what I mean? Like, the kid's awake. When I go to bed and I wake up, this shit better be clean, right? Yeah, so I did that, and then I text buddy. I'm like, hey man, yeah, I don't know, like, if you're awake or, you know, but the whole place is all fucked up. I got a sword in my room now. Text me if you see this. I hope everything's all good when we wake up. And then we wake up, place is immaculate, cleaned up. This guy's gone. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know, where is he? And then we feel some rocks getting thrown at our window, right? Yeah. And we're like, what the fuck? And then we look and we see him. He's like, oh, hey boys, sorry man, I was really fucked up last night. I got breakfast. You guys want it? We're like, oh, okay. This guy's
like, welcome back. You're like, thanks for preparing us for a fucking zombie apocalypse.
Dude, it was like the scare. Like, it was so weird just walking out, and you're like, this guy has a samurai sword, and it looked like a demon went through the place. Everything was turned upside down. There was like lunatic gibberish and like hieroglyphs written all over stuff, and it was like, we were like, what the fuck? But I remember too, because like I was high on mushrooms one time, and I felt like I needed someone to find me an infinite pen, which was a permanent marker, and I was like, this will work. And I started writing the fucking key to success and like all these time formulas on my buddy's like checkered carpet, and it was his sister's carpet in like her room. And it was like, the whole place is like, what the fuck? They're like, just let Danny do it. And I'm like, time equals key to success. And like, I'm all fucked up on
time
mushrooms.
Plus effort plus mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, no, because I figured it out. Where it was like, you know, those guys that are like, you know, like they always hang around high schools and shit after like they take 5 years to graduate something that would be like 2 or 3.
Too many victory laps, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we had a couple of those guys in our friend. I'm like, these guys are like losers, you know, in the sense that like, if I can get this done in X amount of years, like I'm ahead of the game, right? And then these guys are still taking something 5 years to do that I did in 3, right? So I was like writing that out on. I'm like, hey, we can do it. So I'm like, this guy's just going through the motions, man. I'm like,
I've never done a psychedelic in my life, but I don't know. Math was my worst subject in school, so I don't know if I would have.
I don't know. Yeah, I got a grade 11 math and a 55%, bro. My principal was the football coach. He's like, we'll just I'll slip Danny through here. He's really carrying.
Danny's actually pretty good at offensive line.
He's good at sports, and he's really pushing this drama department in to get the Cappy Awards this year. You know, it was so funny because like I was like leads and shit in college. I mean, in high school and like plays and stuff. So I would always get in trouble. But then I was like, oh, if we take this guy out of school, there goes our fucking roster. You know, like, we're not going to the drama awards this year, boys. And I'm just sitting there like fucking Robert Downey Jr. Like, I don't give a fuck. Let me go to jail. It's all for the art. Get me suspended. Get me suspended. I'll be an Avenger, God damn it.
You're like, put this in my autobiography. Who gives a fuck?
Let some British reporter ask me about it 10 years later. I'll tell him to go fuck himself.
Chuck writes a comment here. On vacation, I was in Jamaica when Bob Marley died, and in England when Maggie Thatcher died. Oh, Margaret Thatcher. And I was I was
This guy's
in
on a
Cuba
personal
yesterday.
level. He calls Margaret Thatcher Maggie.
Yeah, he knows her personally.
Me and Meg go back all the way till she died.
This guy's like a Forrest Gump. He's at every major fucking event.
Yeah.
Chuck, I didn't know that about you.
He's like that time travel picture. You just see this guy in every president's inauguration. He's just
He's in the background.
Yeah,
Proof
waving.
of time travel.
This guy got a fucking iPhone and it's 1842.
He was there when Lincoln got shot. He's like, good play though.
Yeah, every major assassination, he's there. I tried warning him.
Americans. Oh, I gotta keep going here. Castor died. It's funny. There was a few Americans at the resort in Cuba, and I told them the story of an American guy told me if I pay you to come visit in the U.S. because Trump needs to go. I see. So anywhere he goes, the leader dies. So everyone wants to go to the States. Unfortunately, Chuck, the border's closed.
Chuck's just sitting there. I'm essential to a population in America. I must kill the president.
He was actually in North Korea last week, but that was all a hoax.
Yeah. He had to go too soon. That was it. He was early. That's so funny that he's like, I wanted to see who was in my snakes in my circle.
That is such a fucking power move. When I read that,
yeah.
it reminded me of the situation did that in the Italy season of Jersey Shore. He was afraid that there was a rat amongst them, so he made up a lie and see if it got back to Snooki, and it did. And I was like, this is what Situation did.
That's
but
so
he's
funny.
the leader of North Korea.
Yeah.
It's funny when like talking about people dying and being on vacation and going place. It's funny, like, because I grew up in Hamilton, pretty tough city, obviously. Some shit can go down here, but I never really feel unsafe in Hamilton. Maybe because I grew up here. Like a lot of comics, when they come in to do Levity or the Old Yucks or even some of my shows, like all the jokes are about how rough Hamilton is and, oh, we almost got robbed in the parking lot and like all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I believe it, but I didn't really see it coming.
Rob's actually just a dude that tries to jerk you off. We almost got robbed in the parking lot. Almost.
I'll get you next time, Toronto
scurries under
comics.
a Ford Escort, and you're like, what the fuck? The guy go,
But
just a manhole cover, like a quarter on the floor.
I think because I grew up in a kind of a tougher place like Hamilton, it makes me, when I'm traveling, just to think I'm not in any danger at any time. I never feel like I'm in danger when I'm on vacation, which I mean, I haven't been to like Europe and been mugged or anything like that. But like, even within Canada, especially within Canada. So my little quick story, I was on tour out in Victoria, and I was doing hecklers. Have you done hecklers in Victoria?
No, I was
Dude,
gonna
it is
go out there
probably
and-
one of the best clubs. It's not even a club. It's like a roadhouse pub that they turn into a comedy club on weekends. It might be one of the best rooms in Canada. Dan Quinn runs that room. Anyways, I was out there doing a weekend there, and on the Friday night, I fucking did super well. I don't know, something about Victoria. It just was clicking. And I come off stage, and there was a guy, like kind of super Canadian guy, and he gives me one of these, give me like, come over here. And I was like, oh,
come over here.
Yeah, no, he's like, hey, fuck, come here. And he's sitting with two women, and one of them was younger, kind of mid-30s, and then there was a woman his age in like kind of 50s. And he's like, sit down.
I like
fuck.
how you say younger mid-30s, bro. I was expecting like 20.
No, like, but he was.
She was younger,
well, younger than them. They're like in their
45?
mid-50s, and so she was like 35.
Okay.
So, anyways, he's like, sit down, fuck. Like, I always find if you want to do a guy from the West Coast, especially if I'm doing an impersonation of you, Danny Martinello, I just add too many fucks. Like, come here, fuck. Sit down, fuck. What are you doing, fuck? So he's like, fuck, come here, fuck. Sit down. So I was like, okay. So I sit down, and he's like, you're fucking hilarious, man. I'm like, thank you. I was like, that was a super fun set. And he's like, you ever been to Victoria before? And I'm like, actually, it's my first time. He's like, you ever been fucking salmon fishing before? And I was like,
Ever been salmon fishing, buddy?
and I was
Let me
like,
ask you, you ever been sitting there rabbling by a babbling creek and just said, oh man, here comes this salmon.
pretty much that was the vibe. And he's like, you ever been fucking salmon fishing before? And I was like, never in my life, buddy. I'm like, I grew up in Hamilton. I'm like, you don't eat anything that comes out of our water. So he laughed, and he's like, well, fuck, I own the Royal Bay Fishing Charter Company here out in Victoria. How'd you like to go salmon fishing with me tomorrow?
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay. Like, I have this thing on the road, and I know you're a similar guy to me, where you just say yes. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I usually look at them and then I say, how many teeth does this guy have? And then if it's like above 6, I'm like, all right, let's roll.
He's got to be a doctor.
Yeah,
or something.
that way, if I get killed, I can just see the bite marks in my body and they can identify me.
Like a Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes. So because my kind of way I think about it is either it's a great experience and fuck it, you had a great time, or it's a terrible experience and you've got a new piece of material. So either way, it's a win for a comedian. So he's like, what time? I'm like, I don't know, what time you pick up? He's like, well, fuck, we'll go around 2:00, so I'll pick you up around 1:00. And you stay in the hotel that the club's in, right? And so I was like, well, I'm gonna be here. I'm like, just here's my number, just text me when you're front. He's like, what are you drinking? I'm like, I drink cider or gin. He's like, all right. Pulls up, sure enough, 1:00, honk honk. I come outside. He's got a 2-4 ciders on the front seat, and he's like, "Get in." So I was like, "All right." I'm just like, and I think like if I was, I don't know, a woman
What'd you do
wouldn't
if
do
like
this.
he touched your lap?
Well, that.
Oh, sorry, I was just reaching for
He's
a
like,
cider.
that's actually how we fish out here.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just looking for my lure.
Oh, you thought I said salmon? Oh, dude, sorry, man. I totally meant like boys.
So he was like, so he picks me up. I just get in the truck.
Yeah, you
Just
think you think he said salmon, but he actually said sad men. And then
Either way, I'm in.
you guys go to the lonely gay bar.
Oh, buddy, come on. I
He's
knew
like,
I had one when
so-
you said ciders. I was like, hot damn, fuck. And he's young and shiny.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So he's like, get in, fuck. So I get in. We drive out to this bay, this royal bay, and the two women from last night were there. The younger girl who was like 35 and the lady who was like 55, and they're waiting by the boat. And he's like, fuck, go ahead. And I'm like, okay. So I just walk down. I get in the boat. We start taking off. He throws me a cider. And
But it's like those people though. It's like they love it. That's their thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like not only did they get a show from you, now it's like they get the feel good feeling of showing you a good time of the place that they
exactly. And it's his business, and he knew. And it's like a story for me, but it's a story for him. He can be like, if I get big or whatever.
There's a guy over at the Lido or whatever that he likes to take people. If you go in the winter times or whatever, he'll take you for like a little wintertime flyby. He has a small little charter plane that he drove.
Oh, is that in Prince Albert?
I think so. I can't remember. It's like northern BC.
It's definitely northern, like interior. I've seen that gig.
I haven't done it, but like I hear everybody like there's at least 3 comics that have flown with him and shit.
Yeah, he just takes you up on a plane. But then anyway, so I just get in this boat. And he just starts going out to the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Like he just
and you're like, oh,
and I'm just like,
This is where my story ends.
I was thinking to myself,
he just tells you to look into the fucking waves like your
he's
Fado
like, check
or
the
whatever.
bow.
Yeah.
Or just fucking fish hooks me in the neck.
Yeah.
But he just starts like, it's a beautiful fucking boat, but it's like rocky. I'm in the back. I'm starting to try to drink. I'm trying to get fucking bombed. So I'm just chugging. I'm like, if I'm going to die, it's going to be drunk and on tour. I need to go out like a fucking rock star here.
Yeah.
So,
that's funny, like a rock star salmon fishing with ciders. They check your alcohol level and you're like, oh, he's only at 7%. What is he drinking? Oh, what was it? Georgian Bag gin smashes?
Those are actually fantastic.
Oh, they're my favorite.
Dude, there's a new one, Strawberry Smash Out. You gotta get it.
No, I tried that iced tea one too. The lemonade smash one was good.
It is good. It's a little herby, but
yeah,
I like it a lot. But anyway, so we just start going out, and I thought to myself, like, fuck, he could just so easily just kill me. He could just kill me and throw me overboard, and that'd be it. No one would see me. No one would
care, buddy. No one
I
would
also
care.
didn't. No one would
I'm
care.
just kidding. I'd care.
Everyone would be like, "Fuck, my social media is so quiet these days."
I didn't go and have an Eric. Oh, fuck, come on, man.
Like, well, at least I don't have to see any more pictures of him tanning.
Yeah, like salmon fishing. Fuck, dude.
But it ended up being great. We were out on the water for like 6 hours, and we didn't catch a thing. He brought me back.
But you're also a bit of a big guy too, you know what I mean? So that gives you like enough permission.
Yeah,
to be
I
like,
think
you know
people think that I might know how to fight, but I don't at all.
All you got to do is just throw your weight around.
Yeah, I would like slap, like I'm just like
the Street Fighter. You give them 1,000-pound slap.
Yeah, it's like,
each one comes with a little nipple.
But mine are more like this rather than stop.
This guy's wrists are jacked.
He cut me with his rings. Now I'm pissed. So, and we ended up not catching anything. He brought me back to his place. We went for dinner at his house. He's like, well, I caught a ton yesterday. Plus, I got fresh crab there or whatever. I pulled in. He takes me back for dinner. Fucking, we eat. It was great. I ended up having sex with the girl, the 35-year-old girl that I was with the whole time.
Nice.
And I went back to the fucking club. I did the 8 o'clock show and I did the 10 o'clock show, and I was bombed. I was the
for
drunkest
sure.
I've ever been on stage in my life. Anyways, it was a
Whatever.
good day.
You could
gotta
tell
take
people
risks.
you're like, yeah, man, I was salmon fishing with Glenn.
His name is actually Jerry. Very close.
Jerry, close, yeah.
And Jerry actually came to my show a year ago today in Nanaimo, BC. He came just to see me when I was on my last big tour. So Jerry is a goddamn saint. But it's funny when you just don't give a fuck. You just go.
Oh,
You
that's
just
the best.
experience.
That's like I watched that Dave Chappelle thing, and I was even thinking about that too. The his Mark Twain one, and when Anzi Azari was like, "Oh, I don't know," and he's like, "What are you gonna tell your kids that you did mushrooms with Dave Chappelle? Like, do it for the fucking story, man."
Yeah.
That's how I always live my life too. I'm like, I'm either gonna do it for the story, or the glory, you know, like it's either gonna be good and it's gonna be sweet as shit, or I'll just have a wicked story or a sad story to tell.
Yeah, and I think it's the story in that special where he's like, "What are you going to tell a story about the time that you went home early?" No one has a good story about a time they went home early.
I mean, I got like a couple because a couple of my buddies were like gonna be like shit, and then I'm like, I'll just gonna go home and like get laid with my girlfriend.
And then they did nothing.
Yeah, and then they're
Didn't
like
get
either
into the
getting into a
bar.
fight or they're standing one guy goes, "Oh, look, I spilled all over my white shirt," and you're like, "That's sick, man. I spilled white all over my black cloth."
I was there for a shit show, Northern Alberta Forest Fire. Chad used to work out in the
Chad's
fucking-
just the arsonist in Fort Mac.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah, I was there.
I was there, and then I conveniently left, and then the whole place caught fire.
Yeah, the whole thing was that he was just talking to kids. He's like, "You remember Afraid of the Dark, right?" And then holds up the light,
He
the
pours
match. Yeah,
fucking sand on the fire, and it sparks up, and then everyone dies.
It's actually tar sand. It's oil sand that he throws on.
It's like, oh fuck!
We should probably get going, guys. It's after dark.
I just touched my eyes again for anyone who's watching. I'm fucking laughing.
Fuck it, this guy's breaking COVID rule 3.
Yeah, I touched my own eyes.
Yeah, he touched his face like 15 times in about 10 seconds.
But yeah, like even when I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago now, before
A couple weeks ago, bro,
Yeah,
I saw
no,
you
I-
outside a grocery store yesterday. I don't know.
I was in Chicago right at first week of March before this all hit, and I was coming home from the show. I was like half in the pail, and I was like, I've never had Dunkin' Donuts in my life, and there's one kind of near me. And I'm staying in the Chicago South Loop, and you know all the stories about Chicago and Chirac and all that stuff. That's in South Chicago, South Side Chicago. Kanye West raps about South Side, South Side, South Side. So I'm like, I just put in fucking Dunkin' Donuts, and I just went to the one that was closest to me. I didn't realize that I was driving into the South Side of Chicago. So I get out, and I'm just at a Dunkin' Donuts. The Uber leaves, so the Uber just drives away. And I'm just standing in front of a Dunkin' Donuts, and I walk in, and it's like a Dunkin' Donuts that you can only go into the front alcove, and it's like it's like a turnstile. You put your money in, you like tell what you want through bulletproof glass,
Oh,
and you're
wow.
like,
That's
I'm
always
like,
tripped me out too. And like I'm in LA and the other states and stuff, and then you go into a gas station, you see like the full bulletproof like gas stations you'd see on like Hood site and shit, and you're like, oh yeah, this is America.
Yeah, this is what it is. This is where people go to die.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what kind of danger I was in until I was at first when I was only in there by myself, and the guy's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Just give me like 6 mixed donuts, man." I'm all excited. I'm like, "I've never had Dunkin' Donuts." The guy's like, "Okay." So he just turns around and gives me the 6 shittiest fucking things. But
Yeah,
as I'm waiting, this young like group of like kids, like 18 to 24-year-old like gang kids, walk in, and they're like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like literally a Canadian happy guy. I just did an amazing show at the Laugh Factory, so I'm running on that high. Plus, I've had a couple of drinks, so I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" I'm like, "What are you guys doing tonight?" They're like, "Where you from, man?" Like right away, like, "Where you from, man?" I'm like, "Canada." And they're literally looking at my hands, and I'm trying to take my rings off in my pocket with my hands in my pocket. I'm trying to like push them off into my pocket because
They
I'm
just
like,
think you're autistic. They're like, "No, we're not gonna rob this autistic kid."
I'm standing there like, "I'm good, guys. I'm
They're
good.
like, "I think
I'm
this guy's
good."
jerking off right now in his pocket." You see his home, they're like, "Oh man, man's don't want none. Get away from him."
They're like, "We don't play pocket pool, yo."
Yeah. We just ask you what size of shoe you are and take it off.
Yeah, they're like, what size of those suede fucking
Yeah,
slip-on
nice
boots?
Chelsea boots, bud. What size are you?
Literally, that's what I was wearing, black suede Chelsea's. And but anyway, so I'm starting to realize, okay, I'm in fucking danger here. And then they're like, "Canada, eh? Like, why are you in Chicago?" I'm like, "I'm a comedian. I just did a show at the Laugh Factory." Then they completely turn. They're like, yo, comedy, yo, this guy thinks he's mad funny. And I think they're like taking pictures of me.
Yeah,
They're like, yo,
yeah.
what's your Instagram? Yo, you got TikTok? And they just completely did a 180. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, comedy comes in clutch sometimes, man.
Oh, yeah. They're like, yo, could you like help me get on comedy shows? I'm like, yeah, send me a
Yeah,
message,
first you got to
dude.
put that pistol away, buddy.
yeah. There's a no guns rule.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's what you guys say, right? Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, you say sorry all the time. Sorry. You were down in LA for a bit. Did you come with any kind of danger travel stuff in LA?
Just like kind of like I don't know, man. Homeless people are different, right? It's kind of weird. Like when you're in America and you see like a homeless person come up to you, you immediately think like AIDS. While in Canada, if some homeless guy comes up to you, you're like, oh, he might have rabies.
Yeah, it's more of an outdoor disease.
Yeah. No, nothing really, man. It's like I don't know. We had like when I was staying at the hostel, we had like some saw like an actual full blown like LA like ghetto birds flying above because there's some like because the hostel I was staying at and working at was right like a major intersection would be I guess Hollywood and Vine close to, but it's like just off Hollywood Boulevard tucked away. And like there's this guy running around kicking car windows in and like mirrors off and stuff, and then like, all these cops came and then he went to go reach behind his back and then he pulled out a piece of plastic but they thought it was a knife and there was like 7 cops like holding guns out. They're like, get on the fucking ground, and it was me and these Brits, and the Brits like had their heads over and then all the rest of the people were like, oh no, and then the Americans were like, it's fucking LA, what are you doing, right?
Yeah,
and
this is
then
life.
me and these Brits were like, oh fucking this is real life shit, and it was like literally like probably 6 meters away from us, and then like the cop was actually fucking he looked like Hank from Breaking Bad, and these Brits loved him, and then he broke down with these Brits, and then he showed us his AR and his shotgun and all this shit, and then the Brits he took the British people on for a ride along. I was kind of jealous because I wanted to go, but
you're like, I'm from Britain too, but
yeah, I'm like, I mean, like I'm part of the Commonwealth.
You're like, hey, your queen's on our money. I don't know, I'm not sure why.
I'm pretty sure we told her to fuck off in 1974. They're like, what?
We got our own flag or whatever.
We didn't have to go to mommy. We just said, hey, can we like pass our own bills here?
Danny, I'm gonna bring our first official guest. She's got a crazy story.
Nice.
She's a very good friend of mine, local real estate powerhouse. Very good friend of mine. Please welcome Carrie to the show, guys. Carrie. Hi.
Hey guys.
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, look at you. Oh, look at Dog
Hold
too.
on, wait. You want to see my shirt?
Okay.
Nice.
That's
Right
what we're
on,
doing
yeah.
right out of the get-go.
Is it kind of
Look
like
at my
this?
shirt. I can't even read it. It says all boob. Does it say thank you what?
It's just like a.
I thought it said
a
thank you.
Chinese shirt.
I thought it said thank you Wuhan. I was like, not yet.
So this is gonna teach me to never answer your question boxes ever again.
I put a thing on Instagram for anyone who doesn't know. I put a thing on Instagram. Tell me your favorite, your craziest travel story. And Carrie wrote one in, and I was like, "Oh my god, you have to come on the show." So now she's on the show. Don't be shy though. You can come. You can answer me whenever you feel. So your story happens in Cabo. I'll start with that.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So I went with my ex-boyfriend to Cabo like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out with our entertainment director, I guess you'd call him. From
Oh
the
yeah, those guys who
resort.
are paid to scam you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So he starts buying us drinks, and I'm like, okay, something's not fucking right here. And my boyfriend at the time is like a 6'5" Croatian guy,
Classic.
and he's getting more wasted and more wasted.
He's like, don't worry, it's fine. Fuck it. I'm 6'5". What the fuck are they gonna do to us?
Yeah, exactly. And the next thing I know, we're in like a Mexican karaoke bar.
Amazing.
He's jumping on the stage, grabbing the mic out of the little Mexican guy's hand, and I'm like, are like slowly they're robbing us too.
How?
Which
Tell
is-
us how they're robbing you.
So like my cell phone went missing, and then my ID went missing, and at that point I knew there was something wrong and that my ex was drugged, and me possibly too. So I'm like, let's go. And the entertainment director was driving us around, and he's like, okay, we're gonna go. He takes us to a fucking strip club. Okay.
Nice. So you got
We're sitting, we sit in the strip club, and all of a sudden, Peter fucking stands up, turns the whole table over because he's like a beast.
uh-huh.
and start to fight with all of these Mexican
He's like, I
gangsters.
want to sing Freebird.
He's like,
Freebird.
He's like, I want to take care of business every day.
But we party all night long. What the fuck?
I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
Oh my god, right? That was actually the reality. Anyways, he's like, he gets kicked out, and that's when they saw the opportunity to separate us, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
And as
I don't
Oprah
know what
Winfrey says,
happened with
you
him.
never go to the second location.
Yes, never go.
Yeah. So at this point, I can't even see straight, and I'm just begging this guy at this fucking horseshoe, like this wannabe solid gold Mexican horseshoe
Nice.
table, to take me home back to the hotel because I don't even know where I am. And finally, he's like, at first he's like, drink more, and then finally he's like, okay, let's go. So we get into his like Jeep truck thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we start driving, and I noticed that we are now in the Mexican ghetto, which is
Oh.
the Mexican ghetto is all garages. Okay.
Ah.
So I'm like, fuck, and I'm really fucked up, right? So I'm like, oh my god.
You're actually recounting this story for someone who was drugged. You're like, so I saw a 1997 Chevy Malibu.
License plate
and,
LQT Mexico City.
I can handle my alcohol. Okay?
I've seen you drink before, actually.
So I realized he's not taking me home, and I start to freak out. I start yelling at him to the point where he stops the car. As soon as he puts it in park, though, I've been practicing mixed martial arts on and off with Samir for about, I don't know, 12 years.
You just got to put this guy in an RNC from the back passenger
I
seat.
literally elbowed him in the face and then push kicked him out the side of his door, hopped the seat, and took off. I stole his car.
That's awesome. You're
This is
badass. I love it.
amazing.
But
You're
I've
like a
never
superhero.
driven a car without power steering before, and I was fucking wasted.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
had no idea where I was. But
It's like Mario like Mario. You just steer so much to the left, you start steering right.
You're going,
right? And then, yeah, and then just like, I thought I'm going to jail. Like all I could think was like, I'm going to jail for stealing a fucking car. I drove it into the front lobby. Like I didn't just park it. I just drove it right into the lobby, threw the keys at the front desk, went to my room, grabbed my ex, called my mom because at this point we have nothing left. No money, nothing, cards, nothing. And we had another hotel booked because obviously this guy works at the hotel, right? So
yeah.
shit's not safe.
My question is, how your Serbian or Croatian ex-boyfriend, 6'5",
Get
wasted.
back to the hotel.
Yeah,
You went
he was just like,
gallivanting with
Okay,
the
you
pool
know
boy?
what? I know when I should leave, but I think Carrie is having a good time.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
he
I'm
why
like
the
fucking
6
whole
drinks
left
way
you.
too past it with Carrie. She held alcohol Canadian, the crazy fuck.
Yeah.
Crazy fuck.
They put him in a cab and convinced him that I was now going with them voluntarily.
He's like, she
Yeah, no wonder he's
belongs
an
to
ex.
Mexico.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole other thing when I got back, but we won't even talk about that. But yeah, we got out of there. Everything was fine. Unfortunately, his Croatian permanent resident card, because yes, even though he's been here forever,
Didn't
does
learn
not
language.
have a fucking passport, gets stolen. And it's not just, let's call the Canadian embassy and replace this. And mind you, it's also the holidays. It was like we were there for Christmas and New Year's. So he got stuck there for an extra 2 weeks. I just fucking left him there.
You left him?
Yeah.
Yeah, as one
He's like,
should.
you're like, now who belongs to Mexico, motherfucker?
Yeah.
You're like, born in
Right.
Canada.
You just
And
see this
he's
guy.
like-
He's 6'1" or 6'4". He's playing for the Mexican national team in like 6 weeks.
Don't worry, I play for Mexican volleyball team.
Yeah.
It's no problem.
Yeah. They're like, you're too shit. You have to play volleyball. He's like, all right.
And
Yeah,
he's
good
like
luck.
freaking out because I just obviously kicked the crap out of this guy, and he thinks everybody's looking for him now. And he can't hide because he's like 6'5", and at this point looks like a wildebeest. So
He has 4 Mexicans on his back. It's the police force, and he looks like he's just yeah.
Let's go, guys. We're going to find my girlfriend.
They're like, oh wow, just like Jockey. You know?
Oh my god.
I did get him back. I have an ex who's a politician that made a couple calls for me because doing anything in Mexico is just, God, Mexican time is just another level.
That was your. That
You're
was
like,
your
listen, I also fuck politicians.
yeah. A Croatian
So you're
drug
like,
dealer.
I'll take
then
care of
politician.
this. So, anyways, you're international.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm glad you stole a car. I'm glad you survived it. I'm glad. Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm glad you've been
quickly.
taking mixed martial arts with Samir for 4 years.
Yeah, Samir.
Samir is the best. Like, one thing I said to him when I got back, and he was so worried about me. And I said, you know what? Thank God it was me and not some poor little girl that's just gonna sit there and cry, you know?
Yeah.
So
Don't, my fucking dad. My dad will don't call my dad. My dad's a fucking lawyer.
You guys can follow Carrie. Thank you for coming on the show. You can follow you. How do you say your last? Is it I always just say
Sauve.
Suave.
okay, yeah.
Suave. I always just say Carrie Suave and Associates.
I thought your name was Sauve Associates.
Sylvia Associates. That's the former
I know,
place
I
where
know, I know.
that's where her ex is from. Sylvia Associates.
And Associates as their ex-boyfriend.
Because you told me you're coming on the show, I made sure that we could plug your real estate business. I know times are tough for you right now, but if anyone in the Hamilton area, Hamilton, Niagara Falls area wants to buy a house, go see Carrie. She'll take care of you. She's also got a backyard pool and hot tub if you guys ever want to party.
Yes.
Carrie, I love you. Thank you for coming on the show. Bye.
Love you, Eric. Thank you.
Oh, she's gone.
She didn't say she loves me.
She only loves me.
She loves me.
We're cool rolling around here. This is amazing. I love when guests come on the show. It's so
Hey,
much
and I
more-
want to say for the record,
Yes.
those plants are mine. All right.
Those plants behind you are
The
yours.
all you need is love thing is Veronica. Well, everything's Veronica's except for those plants. But
You're
so
like,
you were right.
You're like to your plants. You're like, you want to come back to my place and die or whatever, or is that weed
Teresa,
plants?
This is such a beautiful money tree. I got
Is
her when
it-
she was about 6 inches tall, and she's rocking about like 18.
I thought that was weed.
No, dude, that's a money tree. I don't know what sun is things, but that's my day one plant, bro. I'm gonna have that. It's gonna get 10 feet tall till I'm like dead. I went in
That's
the
how
store.
plants work.
Yeah, dude, I went into the store and the guy was like, "Oh, do you want a large one or a big one or a small one?" I was like, "Oh, a small one. That way, when I'm 60 years old, I'll look back and like the." And then he's like, "You are a plant person. Yes, here, take this one." And he like
He's
gave
like,
it to
let me
me.
give you some free
Yeah.
putting mix.
Yeah, he's like, "Yes, your thumb is green. Now let me make mine brown."
I actually have a tree like that in the front of my house that I
Which
remember
one?
when
One of the fingers your asshole when you
No,
buy
I
it?
don't put the tree in front. No tree fingers my asshole. But there's a tree in front of my house that I remember when they planted, and now it's like a full size
Oh,
tree.
dude, I
and I'm
love
like,
it, man, because it's the best part. Because nobody really like some people they just take plants and stuff, but then you like see these plants that you were growing up, and you remember your mom or your dad being like, "Yeah, this plant's this plant's older than you." And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
right, whatever. And
there
then
was
I'm
a
like,
cactus in our beach room for like 20 years, and then we finally just fucking
your
just threw it
beach
out.
room. What do you just
We have a
take
beach-
the
we have
hardwood
a-
out and throw some sand in there?
That was actually a plan. No, we have our family room is called the beach room because it's beach themed, and it's just been called the beach room for so long that everyone just
okay.
calls it the beach room.
Yeah.
But it's the beach room. So I'm gonna bring on our next guest, and also Chad. I see you, Chad. There is a link today. I'll send it to you. But first of all, I'm gonna bring on our next guest. This guy is a very good friend of mine, very talented actor, musician, artist. I met him in Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School. And he has since become one of my best friends, very good friends in the world. I actually mailed him a Bullwhip t-shirt to Portland, Oregon today, and he's joining the show. Please welcome Joe Taormina, everybody. Joe.
Hey,
Hey, dude.
how's it going?
What
Joe,
up?
this is Danny Martinello,
going
comedian
on,
from
Joe?
Edmonton.
Hey, nice to meet you.
You have a crazy story. You were almost murdered in Iceland?
Well, I mean, yeah, I took it that way, yeah.
Okay.
Really, somebody just asked you for
Oh.
directions?
Yeah, you're like, I feel like I was just almost murdered.
costed?
How do you
No,
get
so
to
I-
Reykjavik?
It's a Chechen or a Croatian.
It's
Just
fucking
6'5".
Carrie's ex-boyfriend.
I got lost in Mexico. Now I'm in the fucking sweat. This beautiful spa.
The Blue Lagoon. Okay, sorry,
Yeah, that's
Joe.
what I was looking
It
for.
has
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
with the Blue Lagoon.
It was at the...
Has to do with
Okay,
the
tell
Blue
us, tell us.
Well, so it was, it's like 2018, I guess, October.
Mhm.
I went to Iceland, went by myself, coming off like a real bad relationship at the beginning of the year, real bad ending to it. And then I was like seeing a girl right before I left, and that came off real bad. And so I traveled like the whole island for I think 10 days, I guess, by myself.
Mhm.
Rented a car, just stayed in a different place every single night. And my last night,
Living like
I
John
was
Connor on
staying-
vacation.
Yeah. Looking like Keanu Reeves, living like John Connor.
This guy's John Wick 6 right now in Icevic.
He's like Reykjavik.
Yeah, Reykjavik. That's what it is. Icevic. I'm just saying fucking Call of Duty maps right now.
So you're all along the
So-
island, yeah.
my last night, I'm staying at an Airbnb it's about an hour from Keflavik, where the airport was. My last night there, it's like a 15-20 minute drive to the Blue Lagoon, and I went there for my last night, and I got in. They do like a scheduled thing where you have to make an appointment, and if you get in at noon, you can stay till closing if you want. The only spot that was available was, I think, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock was closing. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm here, And so I'm there. I'm kind of swimming around. I swam up to the bar to get my one free drink, and there was this girl in front of me that she kind of like sidled up to me. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, this girl's gonna fucking cut in front of me, and it's just gonna fucking piss me off.
This guy's not even. He's like, oh,
What an
Like-
American
like
response.
The
of you.
American rage
yeah.
is coming out, And so
son of a
we get
bitch
to
is
the
gonna
front,
cut
she
me up.
says, she's like, oh no, you were in front of me, and all of a sudden I'm feeling bad, and ordered my drink, and I kind of stayed in the area thinking, this is a cute girl.
Yeah.
See what happens
Did she?
here. And
Did she? This question: was she a local, or could she tell that she
I
was?
thought you were gonna say, was she of age?
Well, no.
Of age?
Yeah, was
Like,
she
where's this
of,
question going
was
here?
she over 18, or what's the rules in Iceland?
well, so I didn't know. I did end up talking to her. She eventually told me she was from Texas, but was living in Vegas, I think, is what she told me.
Classic self-discovery. I'm
And
gonna
so-
go to Iceland.
It gets to a point where I can tell I stay in the area, and she kind of makes some offhand comment to me, something about my beard, because it was, huge at the time. And
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this girl is kind of flirting a little bit. I go up and I talk to her, and we ended up spending the whole, hour and a half, 2 hours in the Blue Lagoon together, like she's wanting to, we went and got a little face mask thing, and
That's
says,
up
"Oh,
my alley, yeah.
Yeah. She says, I got an idea. Like, I'll put yours on and you put mine on. And so we're putting each other's face masks on. And
You're
I'm
just
like,
sitting there like, oh, I wish she said, I'll take yours off. I'll take mine off.
I'm being like real ginger right here, on
Yeah.
her. And she's like, go ahead, just go. And so I, whatever, put it down here on her chest and everything. And
Yeah, nice.
like, we end up talking about the Northern Lights. And I said, well, they're supposed to be out tonight. I got lucky and I got to see them, 4 days ago.
Are they beautiful?
And they're supposed to be out tonight. Oh, they're fucking amazing.
Fuck, I've always
They're-
wanted to see them.
I always
wanted to kiss a
think that
woman
I
underneath the
always
northern
think I
light.
would
Incredible.
want to see that, but I think
While
it
I
would
wait for my
also give
sled
me
dogs right
anxiety.
penicillin.
Just yeah, there's nothing like it.
I bet.
She gets
Okay.
all excited, and I said, yeah, they're supposed to be out. There's too much light around here. We could probably see them if there wasn't this much light around. And she says, well, do you have a car? And I said, yeah, I got a rental car in the parking lot. And she said, well, can we go? Can we go out and see him? I said, yeah, we can do that. And so the place closes, and we, changing rooms and all that. And I meet her in the lobby, and we go outside, and I can see him in the sky. When there's too much light around, you can see them. They just kind of look like clouds.
Oh,
And I said,
wow,
well, that's
trippy.
them right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said, that's them, but they're not green because there's too much light around. She says, well, let's go out into a field somewhere. Let's go to a middle of nowhere and see them. All right, yeah. And so this is probably, by now it's about 11 o'clock at night. I've got a flight at 7 o'clock in the morning the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm staying an hour from the airport.
It's your last
So I've
chance
gotta
for
get up.
romance right here. This
Hey,
is
I
it.
love those nights, man.
Yeah,
you know what I
you're
mean?
like, I'm gonna get an
Lovers
early
from a
flight,
dangerous
but let's.
time. I gotta catch a flight back home.
So we go out to the middle of this field, or middle of nowhere, this field, and the north, they're out. They're crazy. The entire sky is green, and like it's just fucking it. If you're gonna see them, that was the way to see them.
Yeah.
And the whole time, I'm kind of like, I'm playing it careful because it's sort of like, this girl is out here in the middle of this field with this random stranger. I don't want to spook
she's
her.
thinking you could kill her, and you're thinking she
Well,
could
yeah,
kill you.
I
I
mean,
mean,
know,
she's
in
Nordic,
my
dude. She loves
mind-
that danger. It's bringing her back to her ancestors.
Yeah, she's from Texas, so she has a gun in her fucking
Yeah,
back
yeah,
pocket.
Yeah. And so, I mean, she's like, I didn't have a coat or anything because I wasn't expecting to go out. I just went to the Blue Lagoon. I was expecting to go right back. She like had a double coat. She was sharing her coat with me.
Nice.
The whole show ends. We get in the car and we're just sitting in there talking. And then she gets in the same seat as me, the driver's seat, straddling me from behind and starts giving me a head massage.
Okay.
It gets weirder.
Okay,
Trust
keep going.
me. And so she eventually ends up getting in the back seat and drops my chair down and is still giving me this whole head massage, and then she crawls up front, and I think at this time I was maybe in the passenger seat, possibly.
You guys are playing fucking backseat bingo. Just switch. You're playing the front seat right. She's like, I'm backseat left. Twister.
Still up to this point, I'm kind of looking for like the green light. I don't want to make a move and have it be like, oh, bad, American
man, that Louis C.K. used to have a great bit about that. Like, I'm not going to sexually abuse you on the off chance that you're into that.
yeah. And
but didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Eventually,
We're not going to bring up Louis, but he did. Wait, he was just a bit he used to do. It didn't age well. The joke didn't age well.
And so eventually she's on top of me, straddling me.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, that's the green light.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the green
light.
Like, if I'm looking for it, there it is. And so we start out and we're kind of kissing each other's necks.
Uh-huh.
And then I let this go for, 5-10 minutes, whatever. And then I go to try and kiss her and start making out. And she giggles and she looks away. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. And I tried again and she giggles and she looks away.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, maybe she's just into that. Maybe she wants to prolong this.
Maybe she had garlic for lunch. She's
yeah.
And so I do the whole neck thing for another 10 minutes or so. I try and kiss her.
You guys are literally necking, like how baby boomers say. Like, are you guys
Yeah.
necking in the car? You guys are literally necking.
Next, I was like, and things were getting hot and heavy, and
I touched her shoulder.
I was like, do I have permission to take your blouse off your shoulder line?
I kissed her collarbone a couple times.
Oh,
Well,
let me
and
tell
so
you,
at
when you
this
nibble on
point-
the ear, it really gets those toes curling.
Okay, go ahead.
At this point, like my hands also they're all over her.
You're giving her the arty ziff. I know what your move is.
She has no problem with it. No problem whatsoever. And so I go to try and make out again. Same thing. Giggles and looks away.
Where's
And
she
giggles
looking?
and looks away.
Yeah, she's like Northern
Just like
Lights.
looking away to avoid me,
Uh-huh.
And then I'm thinking, okay, that's a little weird. And then she starts into the neck thing again, but she starts growling this time.
Come on.
Like, yeah, like growling
DMX?
and making.
Yeah, she's just the Rough Riders
Yeah,
around.
that's what I prefer,
Stop.
actually.
Drop.
Let me lick my top.
Oh, yo. Just don't kiss my mouth. Oh,
And so it just keeps going, and she's doing the growling thing, and then she's like purring a lot like a cat. And then she's on top of me, and she's got her hands on my chest, and she starts kneading my chest like a cat would do.
Oh, God. She's a furry, but in
like a cat
civilian
would do,
clothes.
This
Yeah.
guy thinks he's getting robbed, but really she's just like
She's
a
making
psycho
biscuits
chick.
on my chest.
Yeah.
And like I let this whole thing goes on for Jesus till like 1 a.m.
But you're a strong dude.
Yeah.
And then it-
Just
Well,
let neck for
should have
15
left her in the
hours.
middle
I
of
didn't know how to
fucking
get out of there.
Vershnovnik.
I didn't know how to get out of there because this is where the whole vampire thing comes up. There was a moment in the middle of this where I legitimately thought, I'm gonna fucking die out here. This
You
girl
imagine
is
she's
some
just
kind of
biting
witch
your neck,
or
spirit
some
cooking
kind of
you.
vampire, because there's all
Yeah.
that weird stuff in Iceland. They have
Yeah,
that
black
weird
metal is the
folklore
birth
stuff.
of black metal in that
Yeah.
area.
And so I'm thinking like, I'm gonna fucking die out here.
She's just waiting
And,
for her
like-
brother Sven to come over here and fucking. She's giving him the call like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you need me to kill somebody.
You start having
And
sex
so-
with her. She's like, I can only get off if you carve a pentagram in my chest. Like, what?
Finally, she stops, and we're just like laying there talking. And I'm thinking, I got to get the fuck out of here. I've got to wake up at 5 a.m. and get to the airport. All of this, and I finally said, well, I better get you back to your place. I said, yeah, we should get home. I said, yeah, I need to get home, and I got to get some sleep. Like, it's
I
getting
know. I
real
need to
late.
get
And
home. It's almost a full moon.
She's like, my dogs will be here soon.
So she's staying in the town where the airport is. She's staying in Keflavik, and which is an hour away from where I'm staying. And so I start driving her to where supposedly she's staying. Halfway into the drive, she looks over at me and she says, "I'm just going to stay with you tonight." She says,
"You're like, no, you are not."
Yeah, she says, "I'm going to stay at your place tonight." And I looked at her and I go, "I don't have a place. I'm in an Airbnb. Like I don't have a place here. What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh no, that's fine. I'll just stay."
She's like, "Is there a litter box?
Is there a litter box? I'm help train.
You have any meow mix?" You're trying to get out of the car. You're like, "Hey." She just
spraying
her with a bottle. Yeah.
You're like, "Go on, Scott, get out of here."
So she says, like, "No, that's fine. I'll just stay there." And I said, "No, it's not fine. It's an Airbnb, but it's like it's a guy's apartment. It's not a guest house. Yeah. He's literally sleeping in the room next door with his girlfriend right now. You know, there's a wall separating us. I don't feel comfortable with that. I can't do that." And so I just keep driving. And at this point, it's about 2 a.m. And I finally asked her, because she had told me the person she was staying with worked at the airport. She was staying with somebody from Iceland that she knew, and they worked at the airport. And I said, "Do you want me to just take you to the airport? Like, where am I going to take you?" And she says, "Oh, no. It's this exit right here. Take this exit. I'll be able to find it." Because she didn't know the address of where she's staying.
She's like, "Let me use my fucking Spidey sense, my vampire sense."
She's
like, "What angle are we at the moon?"
For the next hour, I drove around while she says, "Oh no, it's right there. It's that one. Oh no, it's not that one, but it has tiny windows just like that." This went on for an hour till about 3 a.m. Her phone was dead, and she finally. I finally asked, I said, "Call who you're staying, use my phone, call the guy you're staying with, get the address. Like I'm over this." And so she used my phone and she called a couple times, didn't answer. He finally answers. And
He's
then
like, "Did you kill him? Yes or no?"
Yeah. "Do you have the blood sacrifice?" And so she's on the phone and she says, "Yeah, no, I got a ride. Can I have the address?" "Yeah, no, I just need the address." "Yeah, no, I'm fine. I got a ride. Can you give me the address?" And she hangs up, and I just look at her and said, "Did you get the address?" "Oh, well, he's going to text it to us." Jesus fucking Christ.
You're like, "I didn't get international texting."
There's another 5 minutes goes by, and she says, "Well, he told me it's right next to a church, so I'm just going to Google churches, and we'll drive around, and I'll be able to recognize it."
The worst part about this is you got blue balled for this whole ride, then you have to, and you're flying probably back to Portland at the end of this. So that's not like it's like 6 hours to Reykjavik from Toronto. So you got a 9-hour flight ahead of you.
Well, it was another 6 hours from New Jersey back to Portland.
Oh yeah.
And even after I got back, I had to go to work the very next day. And so finally he texts the address, and to her credit, we were very close. Like she could have, where we were parked when we got the address, she could have walked to the place.
She was telling the truth. Her Wiccan senses were off.
Yeah. She didn't have the branch and the water spinning good enough.
Well, I took her to the house and I said, "Well, do you want my number so that you can I can send you these photos that I took of the Northern Lights, Do you want that?" "Oh yeah, this is my Instagram." And she was, complaining about how her phone was dead, so she needed a charger. And I grabbed a charger out of my car. "Here, take this, go." And she just got out, and that was it.
So what you're saying is the free drinks at the Blue Lagoon aren't necessarily worth it.
Yeah, not at all.
What was her name?
I don't even remember now.
It was Svetlana.
It was very strippery.
Oh, Candy.
That.
Okay,
her name
was
Sapphire. Very strippery.
Oh shit, Joe, that's a good one. Well, thank you for telling us about the cat that almost killed you under the Northern Lights in Iceland.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, I love you. It's good to see your face again. I probably haven't seen you in 10 years, other than Instagram and stuff. But I love you, and I'll give you a text, and we'll jump on a call or something later this week. Everyone follow
You guys
Joe
stay
on
safe.
Instagram. He's got some great art. Don't you have an art page too, Joe? Is it like Taormina art or
I
something?
got rid of it.
Okay, well, he does art. He draws on acoustic guitars and he sells them. Didn't you sell one to someone famous?
Mark Maron.
Mark Maron. He sold a guitar to
Yeah.
Mark Maron. So check that out.
He bought a Keith Richards one.
Yeah, so Joe is a hilarious. I'm hilarious. Danny's hilarious. You're just very talented. Mark Maron is hilarious.
I'm very drunk as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm kicking you off, dude. I love you. Good seeing you, man.
Cool.
Thanks for coming on the show. See ya.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm gonna bring in our last guest of the night to round it out, and I want to end it with this guy because he's a good Ontario boy, but he spent a lot of time in Alberta, so I feel like you guys are gonna get along great, Danny. He's a very good friend of mine, very good fan of the show. He's on every week and commenting, and he finally has a story that he wants to share. Please welcome to the show, Chad Legree, everybody. Chad.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, dude, you look like the singer of Sugar Ray right now at this
Easy. No, there's no blonde streaks in there.
Oh,
Yeah, I
kinda.
guess. Which one was the one that sung Butterfly? That was Crazy Town.
Oh, Crazy
Sorry.
Town.
You're gonna need a couple more
Crazy Town,
tattoos
yeah.
for that one.
Danny, how do you guys do it in Alberta every fucking year?
Oh man, it's resilience. But I've been living here since 2015. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
man.
you were in Alberta when the big one hit then.
Oh yeah, dude. Wait, what? What's the big one?
The big
beast.
fire.
The beast.
Oh yeah, the fire. Yeah.
Yeah, the beast.
Yeah, no,
I was there for that, and what a shit show that was.
Yeah, I was in Edmonton, but man, the clouds came, the smoke clouds all the way from there. That was wild.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I was on I think 3 evacs out of that
wow.
shithole, and the first one. So I was up at Suncor base plant,
Mhm.
and I'm in there working for Fuller Austin, whatever, and the entire office staff left. They called us from basically Lac La Biche and said, "Oh, by
Just
the
a
way,
payphone by a Boston Pizza somewhere."
yeah,
Oh,
by the
fuck,
way,
you guys get down there.
all you guys should get out." They were gone. They just fucking up. Like everybody abandoned ship, abandoned all the workers, just left us, just like that.
They're like,
It
hey,
was-
we're going for lunch and we're bringing all of our valuables.
Oh,
I
it
don't
was
know when we'll be
retarded.
back.
Yeah, no, and then so
T4 slip and their truck keys.
pretty much they wrote all their own T4s and they were gone. Oh yeah, it's just it's crazy out there. Like, and a couple, I think it was about 3 weeks later, they called us and wanted us back, and they kind of got you by the short and curlies because you're on payroll. There's no work in Ontario at the time. What are you going to do? You're going back.
Yeah, you got to do something.
So this is when they were predicting it to jump from one side of the Athabasca to the other.
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, the Athabasca is not like the creek that runs through Stony Creek. It's almost 2 kilometers wide.
Oh, shit.
So and then
Yeah, it was crazy because everybody's like, "Oh, I hope it doesn't jump. I hope it doesn't jump," and then they're like,
Yeah.
"It's fucking jumping," and then that's
Yeah.
when you see the
And
whole caravans coming.
we
dude.
were in the air the day it jumped, and we were being flown back in. They're like, "No, all operations we've been told we're good to go."
You just see a huge
35. You ever smelt smoke in a plane at 35,000 feet?
no.
Oh, that just made me scared, but yeah.
It's
like, "Oh, is the engine on
you could
fire?"
actually smell the forest fire in the plane.
Wow.
The clouds were above the plane at 35,000 feet,
That's
and
brutal. And you guys are going back.
the guys
there?
were going nuts.
Yeah.
Everybody on the plane was just losing their mind. They landed us right in Fort Mac at Fort Mac Airport. There's us and the Bears. That's all that's left in that town.
Yeah.
Firefighters.
Even the
aren't
Bears are
there.
like, hey, when can we get the fuck out of here?
Oh yeah, it's just retarded.
I just want to bring up something too. Chuck says I was there 2 business 2 days before the fire started.
Chuck, man, this guy's a grand arsonist. He's going around everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he's fucking killing people. He's burning shit.
Guy fucking killed. Who did he kill? Castro.
Yeah, this guy
he killed
seen
Margaret
Lincoln
Thatcher.
die.
He started the fire.
Yeah. This
Jesus
guy even stole
Christ.
he stole the secrets from Tesla and fucking gave it to the goddamn Bloombergs.
Yeah.
Steve says funniest comedian ever. He's talking about all of us. But yeah, so you were in Alberta a lot. You were in and out like for 10 years though, right, Chad?
6 years.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
saw a lot.
I've seen a lot of the fires that have been out there.
Mhm.
They're scattered all over the place, Cold Lake, whatever. But this
Now
was
It's just people coming in from BC, setting it on fire, and then going back home.
pretty much. Eh? Just hitting the border and running back over.
Is there now? I know this because my buddy used to work out for Fort Mac. He used to get the $750 to fly home to Ontario, and then he would instead take that and put it towards an all-inclusive in like Cabo or something. I know
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
very popular thing to do. Did you do that
Yeah.
a lot and go down with the boys?
I didn't go down. No, I had better other things to do. I was building a house at the time.
Yeah,
so.
you already spent enough days on shift work with those goons. You don't need to go to Mexico.
Pretty
with
much.
them.
You know, you're running a 21-3. You don't need to be going down south anywhere with anybody.
The
Oh,
only
fuck.
difference is it's just Mexicans around you.
Pretty much.
Still all doing blow.
No, there's lots of those up in this. There's lots of those up there too.
Yeah.
Newfies and
Yeah.
Mexicans.
Newfies, Mexicans, Americans, lots of Americans at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Danny's frozen, but Danny would know this. Oh, he's back. Danny.
Yeah. Sorry, I just actually read an article, man. I didn't even realize this, but our oil sands aren't even. We don't even own them. Like mass majority.
No, we don't.
Own, no, it's all American.
They've sold them all off. They've sold them all off.
So it's not even ours. So.
No, and
it's
the crazy thing is, as Canada, like, not to get all political, but we could be so
Dude, we
self-sufficient.
can be a superpower. We can be
we don't need anybody.
Third or second largest oil reserve in the world. We got diamonds. We got gold. We got we're one of the most largest exporters of lumber besides the Amazon. Like,
we don't need anybody.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But you know, some people like to hold pockets. What can you do, right?
Oh, isn't it? Yeah. And look at it now. It's underwater again. Fort Mac. Like, is it they're at the point they might as well just level that city.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll never
they
know.
got
I've never had a real job, so I don't know. I don't know if I have to go out there. Steve says exactly, well said. He's a newfie. He knows all about it. But
you wouldn't even make it that far. You'd start dancing, doing your little dancing videos as soon as you get off the work.
I get to Winnipeg.
Oh, come on. Then you can get him a gig down there at the big end.
Yeah, you can.
Well, I should bring my fucking campfire comedy tour to the Fort Mac oil stand.
Hey, you guys remember it, right?
Yeah. Okay. Anything crazy to close the show with, Chad? Any crazy stories you can think of off the top of your head? Traveling?
Not off the top of my head.
All right. Well, I'm glad you came on and told us about Alberta and the fucking evacs and fire and smelling that fire at 35,000 feet. But we're glad you made it out. And we're glad you're home, and I'm glad you're such a big fan of the show, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, no problem, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah, likewise. Nice meeting you, man.
Oh, Danny. What a show we had tonight. Lots of tales. Anything to close with? I got about 8 minutes on my on when I usually do the show, an hour and a half. Anything? Any bangers you want to close with? Any headliners?
No, I'm good, man. I don't know. I'm just straight chilling. I want to get back to Divinity Sin, smash a couple VODs, and start leveling up my dwarf.
It's funny because you're a nerd and a bro at the same time.
Oh yeah, man. It's funny. That's why when I do these shows and I drop like massive like nerd references and all these things, and people are like, "Oh, bro, like how do you know that?" And you're like, "Fuck my under."
Like, you boys want to fucking toss some spells tonight, or what?
I live under a football, dude. Like, fuck, come on, man. Like, who doesn't know about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh man, you're a dungeon master. Well, dude, I love you. And if anyone wants to follow Danny, I'll bring that up again. Danny Martinello at Danny Martinello on at Instagram, and you can follow stuff on YouTube. Hilarious comic, one of my favorite comics in this country, one of my favorite people in this country. Leanne, you can come on the show next. You should come on the show. I should do weed stories with Leanne Mladen. She's probably
get Leanne on here.
Yeah. I'll do that next, maybe Thursday night. I got to come up with a theme. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show tonight. Danny, I'm going to kick you out and I'm going to close. Everyone, please follow Danny. He's going to go play video games. Follow him on Instagram and check out his comedy. One of my favorite people in the entire world. Bye, Danny. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Later.
Oh, what another one. We did another one. Jesus Christ. Guys, my name is Eric Johnston. As you know, this has been Eric Johnston Live. Tonight was all about travel tales, hilarious show. We got what we needed to do, and we did it in an hour and a half. It was a good one. That was a funny episode. Thank you, Chuck. And thank you to everyone who shared it, anyone who's been on this show. Thank you to the people who had the balls to come on and tell stories. Carrie came on, told a story about her 6'5" Croatian boyfriend abandoning her in a Mexican strip club. Joe came on, told us about almost getting murdered by a Texan, Vegas, Icelandic witch. Chad came on and told us about a fire he started once in Fort McMurray, and Danny's always full of stories, as am I. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remind you all one more time that the Campfire Comedy Tour is coming to a city or backyard near you this summer. I'm going to go within the rules of the government. However many people are allowed to be in a backyard, that's how many people I want to have in a backyard. to do a show for the Campfire Comedy Tour this summer 2020. I booked my first show on June 27th, and I'm going to do them until Labor Day if the government allows. So message me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on here, and all that kind of stuff for the Campfire Comedy Tour. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Eric Johnston Live. I love you all. Thank you guys for the continued support of the show. It was just an idea to do to fill some time, and now it's took on a life of its own, and it's I'm very, very happy. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Maybe I'll come to Cornwall, Steve. Christopher, thanks for tuning in every week as always. Awesome. Stay safe, boys. Thank you so much. Leanne, let's do a drug show, and I'll be anxious the entire time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric Johnston. We can't leave our houses, but we can tell stories, and we can have a laugh. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Goodbye.